Yo, what is up? Welcome back. Thanks so much for making it this far. Today I'm going to show you why you should learn to bunny hop, even if you never learned to bunny hop. All right, let's do this. So before I get to the point of this video, the title of this video, let's first describe how to do a bunny hop. But even before we get to that point, let's define what a bunny hop is, okay? So Josh, growing up in rural Pennsylvania in the early 90s, learned how to do this maneuver. And that maneuver, however it got to us, whether it was carrier pigeon, you know, some magazine, word of mouth, whatever, it was called a bunny hop. So I'm going to refer to this as a bunny hop. A lot of people might call it a J hop or whatever. So the reason why it's important to explain that is because there's kind of two maneuvers that are very similar. The other maneuver, which I call a trials hop. So let me first show you the difference between the two. So this is not what we're talking about right here, okay? What I call that is a trials hop. I guess some people call that a bunny hop. If for the same reason I'll never call a roof a roof or a soda a pop, I'm not gonna call that a bunny hop, okay? If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. Now in contrast, let's check out what a bunny hop is. As I come into frame, here is a bunny hop. So if you didn't see the difference, a bunny hop is we're using our body weight to transition backward on the bike. So we're shifting backward, our weight's more over our axle. And what we're doing is we're pulling our front wheel up. And when our front wheel is off the ground, then we're exploding upward and we're popping off that rear wheel, kind of like a skateboard ollie, popping off the tail of a skateboard. We're using our rear wheel as a lever and we're exploding upward right here, driving with our shoulders, which levels out our bike, and we nose into the landing a little bit. The reason why we nose into the landing is because when you do a jump or a bunny hop, nosing into the landing allows you to regain your steering control quicker than kind of coming in tail heavy and slapping with the front end down. Secondly, it distributes the impact through your fork and then through your suspension, so it's a little bit less of a brutal impact. So let's look at the mechanics of making a bunny hop work. Then we're gonna look at why, even if you don't know how to bunny hop over things or bunny hop very high, why just that simple understanding of the maneuver can be super valuable for you on the bike. All right, let's do this. So similar to when you're jumping, okay, you'll hear a lot of people, myself included, preach to push into your heels, keep your heels down. The reason why we say that is because when you focus on pushing in with your heels, you're focusing on utilizing these beautiful muscles that your mother gave you, your backside and your hamstrings, okay? Those muscles are much bigger than your quads, okay, which is the alternate option. When you engage these muscles, these beautiful backside muscles, you have more power when you explode upward. Now, the other way to do it is if you primarily focus your weight on the balls of your feet, which is this part right behind your toes, okay? When you explode upward, you're gonna notice that you're engaging your quads. The problem with that is that will give you that feeling of disconnect from your bike because you're actually launching off the platform of your bike, okay? You're not bringing your bike with you after that powerful explosion. You're gonna notice that your feet might leave the pedals. You might feel like you're leaving your bike behind, which can be a super scary feeling. Whenever I talk about explosions or exploding upward, just remember, we're using our heels to push and explode upward. We're engaging these beautiful backside booty muscles that your mom gave you. So now that we know what the bunny hop is and what muscles we really engage in this, let's break down these motions piece by piece. That way you have an understanding of each motion, and when you put it all together, it'll make more sense. All right, so to initiate the bunny hop, you wanna come in high on the bike. The reason why we come in high on the bike is because it gives us a lot of mobility to drop into the bike. When we drop into the bike, it allows us to build up some explosive momentum in our legs and in our core and in our back, and again, in those muscles that your mom gave you. So we drop into the bike straight down and we shift back. So that's likely why they call it a J hop, because you shift down and slightly back. So shifting down and slightly back, what that does is it extends our arms. Our arms are like ropes in this scenario, okay? We don't really have to think about using our arms like biceps. We're not lifting the bike up with our arms. I can promise you I never lift the bike up with my arms when I do this. Your arms though, again, are anchors to the front end. So when you drop down and shift back, this rope here is pulled tight. And as you explode upward, that tight rope is gonna pull your front end up. So once that front end is pulled up, then you explode upward, bring your chest forward, and if you want, you can row your arms to your chest a little bit. What that's going to do is help bring the front end up, and it'll get your bunny hop a little bit higher into the air. So let's try the motion without worrying about the explosion. This is the first step of sinking and shifting back. It's as simple as that, and our arms are anchored. See how that naturally just brings my front wheel off the ground a little bit? So as you practice this, really focus on that strength in your core. High on the bike, centered, sink straight down and back. And naturally, without using my biceps, my arm muscles, my front end comes up. So I sort of take this for granted because I always ride more forward. My shoulders are, closer to my handlebars, my chin's always over my stem. But make sure you're forward, make sure your chin's over your stem. That way when you drop straight down, you're centered on your bike. If you have a natural far back riding position and you drop down, then it's gonna be very hard to shift back, okay? Okay, so let's see how high we can get the front end to come up. Going slow here. Arms are anchors, we're just using our body weight. So practice that. Practice dropping straight down and shifting back, letting your arms go out straight, thinking of your arms as ropes, as anchors, and your body weight is prying your front wheel off the ground, okay? All of mountain biking is using your mass to control this little bike under you. So now that you've gotten that mastered, now comes the explosion part of it. So that's kind of the finesse, explosion, finesse, explosion. So we've dropped down, we've shifted backwards, and we've peeled that front wheel off the ground. So our front wheel's up. Now we want to explode like a rocket, up and forward into the air. That's going to drive that front wheel up and forward, and it's going to bring our back wheel up with us. Let's check it out off of the bike. I've dropped down, I've shifted backwards, and I'm exploding upward, hamstrings, that beautiful booty, and I'm pushing forward with my chest and shoulders. That push forward with your chest and shoulders will give your body mass that arc that it needs to find the bunny hop element of it, the part where you get air and you arc over something, okay? If you just explode upward, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go like that, okay? Front wheel, back wheel. Down, back, explosion. Down, back, explosion. So in that explosive effort, I popped up and forward, and that motion alone brought my bike with me, okay? I didn't pull up with my hands and I didn't pull up with my feet. So when I bunny hop, I kind of naturally drop my toes down, and it's not really to scoop my bike up under me, even though that might be kind of like a result of it. I do that because that helps drive my mass and my momentum forward. I'm gonna try keeping my feet flat and not doing that like toe drop scooping method, just to see if the bike will still follow me. Yeah, so without aggressively dropping my toes, the bike came along with me. I didn't feel like I had that forward arcing momentum though, so when it comes to whether you drop your toes, think of it as you're kind of launching yourself up and forward, not you're scooping your bike up and pulling it up to your booty. So some things that'll help is speed. Speed will make it a little bit easier for you. I'm going slow here because I need to do it within the camera field of view, but more speed will give you more balance. So another thing I think is important to do as you work through these motions, this explosive upward motion, is timing. So when we do this on the trail, we do it because we're trying to interact with a feature, whether it's we're boosting a jump, we're boosting over a log, or we're just kind of pumping terrain super aggressively. There's always timing involved, okay? Timing is an important element for that. So one thing that you can do while you practice this on flat ground is find yourself a stick and use this stick as a point of reference. Not so much to bunny hop up and over, while bunny hopping over stuff is a great way to train the technique, but more of a visual cue, when to bunny hop, how to get your timing down, when to sink into the bike, and how that timing works in regards to like a land feature. Again, because you're gonna need that timing when you're out on the trail and you're trying to use this in practice. So I'm just gonna bunny hop right before it, up and over it. So as you do this and as you get more experience with the timing and where to apply power in your body, you're going to find that you really feel that back wheel acting like a lever. And that's a beautiful sensation because it's like a springboard. You know, it's like a diving board or it's like a trampoline. You really push into that back wheel and spring off of it, like a really powerful ollie on a skateboard. So if you're having trouble bunny hopping, be proactive and film yourself, okay? Because you don't have to be a bodybuilder to make this motion work. You don't have to be young, you don't have to be an athlete. Anybody can do the bunny hop. All it is just manipulating your body weight and using the same muscles that you use to stand up every day to put that motion into work and to bring that bike up behind you. Of course, the more power you put into the drop down, sink back, and the more power you put into the pop, it's gonna get you higher. But it's not essential for doing a basic little bunny hop. As always, if you're having trouble learning how to bunny hop and you've gone through the motion, you just can't figure out where it's going wrong, whether it's timing, whether it's power, whether it's technique, film yourself, become a member to my Patreon, send me that video and I will work with you and we'll do as much back and forth as possible via the great internet to get you bunny hopping in no time. I'll try my best to explain it to you in a way that makes sense based on the errors that I see that you're making. Okay, so let's bring this back to the main point of the video. So let's say, for instance, you've learned how to bunny hop, but you've never really learned how to bunny hop. That's okay, I'm gonna show you why. If you've gotten as far as to master this simple motion, just that itty bitty down and back and up, you don't get a lot of air, but you feel a little baby arc, you're coming down on your front wheel. That's okay, that's perfect. Here's why. So the cool thing is that little motion that you learned is all that you need to do this. So what's cool about this is you failed to learn how to do a high bunny hop, but that's totally cool because that baby bunny hop that you did learn how to do, when you apply that to a transition, it's gonna give you that body control that you need to find that arc in the air, okay? It's the basis for jumping. I can guarantee one thing, all these people that you see flying over jumps and their body does not move in the air. Their body, before they hit that transition, their body is the same as when it hits that transition, when it's in the air and when it lands. I guarantee that the majority of those people never learned how to do that basic bunny hop motion, okay? And the problem with that is you rely on speed to jump and it's gonna get you into trouble because you don't have the body mechanics to save yourself in the air should you be off balance. In addition, when you control the arc, when you control the jump with your body mass, you control the outcome, okay? So when you do not know how to control your body, you're giving into the jump and you're giving into luck. The easiest way to learn how to use your body to maneuver your bike in that arc is to learn how to bunny hop. And if you fail to learn how to bunny hop, the very basics of the motions that you went through, you can even apply those to a little transition and your jump journey begins. So here we go. I got that basic little baby bunny hop motion. I'm gonna apply it to this little double here. Yo, thanks so much. Hope you found some helpful content here. If you got this far, I appreciate it so much. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. If you call this a J-hop, let me know that too.